A blessing in it, my friends. The church will have the zero program, my friends, Colleagues of the Heart, on Wednesday, the 30th of September 2015. It's a pleasure being back with you, my friends, after being away for a while. As you all know, most of you must be wondering, where were you all along? Well, most of you all know that they were concerned about me being victimized and stuff, so I had to take a back seat, I didn't want to put my dad and my family through, any stress, my friends. Especially with all the nastiness that went on during the election, which I'll get to in a minute, my friends. But let me first congratulate the people in that national movement and its leader, Dr. Keith Rowley, on not only being successful in the elections, but a very clean campaign, my friends. And I was very impressed. That is why, my friends, I like to state my position. I voted for the people national movement. I know most of you all must be surprised, but the reason why I did is because the way Dr. Keith Rowley and the people national movement handled the issue, handled the attacks. They were very they were very mature, and I was very impressed. I was very impressed with Dr. Keith Rowley. He made himself appear more statesperson. I was very moved by his speech. And so it was touching. And that is why I voted for this person administration, my friends. And let me state my position. Even though I vote for the People's National Movement, just like I was critical against the former government, right, for wrongdoing, I will be vocal if I see wrongdoing under this present administration. And just like how I was vocal against the then opposition, People's National Movement, when there's opposition, I will be vocal against this present opposition, the UNC, right? Which, by the way, right, I must say thank God, which I'll get to in a minute, my friends. But, so, where do we go from here? My friends, let me state that the purpose of this program, right, under the new government, is to really, be the watchdog, and really, speak out if there's any ill doing, if there's any wrong, if there's, um, critical issues of the day, my friends. I'll be very vocal, but but also to change the hearts and minds of people, my friends, and give proposals and really set a standard, because that's what we need. We need to unite. We need to unite the country. We need to love and serve one another, not divide. And let me get to the campaign. During the general elections, you see that there was a demonization on Dr. Keith Rowley by the then UNC government. The whole No Rowley campaign totally disgusted me, my friends. I was sick to my stomach. Right? I was hurt. Right? Tears almost came down my eyes. Right? So how they they attack a family, and it's a saying you must never go between a husband and wife. Right? Why are you interfering when family matters? And I was very impressed the way how Dr. Keith Rowley handled the situation. Right? And to me, it was none of their business, right? What goes on in Dr. Keith Rowley personal life. But you see, in their minds, they thought they was exposing the PNM, but they're only exposing themselves. I think it could come out of this. But most of you must be saying, how can you say it could come out of this, Javed? Simply, it showed that Dr. Keith Rowley is a family man, right? And it showed that his wife didn't judge Dr. Keith Rowley on his past, right? This is saying, my friends, right? You must never judge someone based on. Let me say this: do not judge someone based on their past. Judge them by who they are right now, their heart, right, their intentions, and that is why we keep going backward as a nation. So I think there was good come out of this new Rowley campaign, because basically what the UNC government, the then UNC government did was expose themselves, especially in the likes of Rodney Charles, which is a He's a total disgrace to the nation, my friends. And I was very disgusted, and that is what made me vote for this present administration, right? So when I look at what he won about the campaign and his personal life, and I am like, and then not only that, I mean I saw the racist statements being made, right, on social media, especially from the opposite side, is really heartbreaking, right? And and I'm like, we are all here to love and serve one another, regardless of party affiliation, regardless of race, because when you go by a doctor in accent for no Indian blood, in plain in accent for no African blood, right? We share the same blood, right? And that same doctor, whether he's African or Indian, will save you. That same Indian or same African, you're attacking, could save your life. So when I look at that, and I look at the issues of the day, my friends. I was very concerned, my friends. And presently, you can see that the opposition or present opposition is causing chaos already. We have a new government that come into power, right? That haven't passed a budget yet, right? You're so quick to talk about crime and stuff. And I was like, when the likes of Fort Can and stuff, I'm like in my mind, Mr. Fort Can, where were you all along? That maintenance with the hell. Where were you? Right? When the police come and said there's a video and still nothing came out of that case. Nothing, we still don't know who was the mastermind behind the data maintenance with the hell. Where were you, Dr. Fort Can? Right? Under your watch, sir, babies died, right? Nothing came out, right? So, and all of a sudden now you are out. On top of that, you know what I mean? Totally disgracing, my friends. That made me vote for this present government. When you want to call Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, is nonsense, right? Because Lincoln Douglas made that statement. That's how, right? That's how they said how Jesus Christ died, but no, they said how cop dead, but so was Jesus Christ. And I'm like in my mind, but we know Jesus Christ do not condone nepotism. He do not condone corruption. But most important, he do not condone racism. So what nonsense are you talking? Right? Why are you calling God? And I realize that what politicians have to stop doing is calling God name in vain. Do not bring religion in your nasty politics to score political points. Right? And that had me very concerned. That's very turned off, my friends. So when I look at the issues of the day, and we have under this new government, they're going to have a lot of challenges, my friends. A lot, right? Especially with the crime situation. And my advice to them is, please, do not be arrogant, and please hold up to to what you promised to the nation based on your manifesto, and practice what you preach when you was in that opposition. Reflect on what you stood up, what you were vocal against the then government. So we reflect on all of that, right? And I'm very impressed by the new slates of politicians. We have young, brilliant minds on the People's National Movement, right? And then, right? So I'm very impressed. So I'm saying, stay focused, right? Right now, my concern, right, is the crime situation, right? But if I am concerned that the People's National Movement is gonna pass all this money, right? Our taxpayers' money, right? But yet they won't mean nothing to show for it. If you really want to show, accountability in terms of the crime situation, you need to deal with the road elements. Money should be pumped into the road elements of the Coast Guard and the police service and our institutions, right? Because crime, right? Because corruption also deals with crime, right? Once you involve in corruption, you are involved in crime also. So you need to deal with that issue. You need to deal with crime. You need to deal with corruption. You need to deal with if you want to deal with the health system, my friends, if people in that moment, if you want to deal with the health system, right, before you think about building one of these hospitals, these are the management issues first, right? Deal with the, when you look at the new beds and stuff, deal with the management issues first before you think about building hospitals. Because the last government boasted about bridges and roads and stuff. But you know what they want to tell you? And this is something that I hope our new minister of works and transport will deal with in terms of contractors, right? Because under the last government, right, it was only big contractors benefited, right? But and what you need to look at, there was no accountability where the checks and balances to show, right? And you could shred how much paper you want, right? Once you don't have that, once you don't have that account, right? That account, right, to show for it on document, then I tell you now, you should break a jail. You should break a jail. So we need to deal with the checks and balances. We need to deal with the contractors. You know, why only large contractors? Why all this money being pumped to large contractors, but what the small contractors? So there needs to be accountability in terms of money spending, and that's what this government needs to focus on, right? Is accountability, transparency, right? In terms of our institutions, and you need to clean the boards, right now when I work at PTSC, I haven't heard about any resignation from the chairman. Um, you know, and I'll get to transport in a second. So so my friend, back to crime. If you really want to deal with crime, deal with that, I know that the former government they dismantled SWOT for and interestingly vodka and all they talk about crime and the guns and drugs flowing in the country, the borders was open, so you need to deal with you need to deal with all these issues, my friends. We need to look at when you look at transportations, right? PTSC right now there are ongoing concerns, in terms of buses and not having pads, in terms of you name it, right? That is why I support the rapid rail. We need to try something because our present transportation system is not working. There are people waiting for 2 hours a bus, right? So, and I can tell you for a fact, a lot of old people feel more comfortable in a bus than a maxi taxi, my friends, right? So, we need to look at the transport, we need to look at the crime, we need to look at, right? And while it's good to build roads and drainage and things, you need to deal with the with the bigger picture, which is contract, right? These contractors, and accountability, So you need to deal with those issues, my friends, to the present government, and I'm really concerned where we're heading as a nation, right? And what I'd like to see for this budget pass is more on social development in terms of a lot of people are having concerns about grants, right? The old age pension that the last government promised and dancing is a misprint, right? We need to, and it'll be very hard for this government to pass goodies because of the mismanagement of the former regime, right? And which is something that I hope this government could hold them accountable for the mismanagement and the wastage, right? Because under while PNM was voted out of office back in 2010, was for that same issue, but based on the whole Kuala issue, right? That that was big, right? But look at live sport, right? Look at live sport, right? Because of live sport, crime that that had an increase in crime, right? And criminals benefiting and man 34 million one with it, no accountability, no transparency. That is what I would like this present administration. While I agree that it should not be a witch hunt, at the same time deal with the issues by 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 appointing state boards and stuff to deal with these issues to train our institutions, because the last government what they did was undermine our institutions, right? So especially our integrity commission is a major concern that I would like this government to look into, please, right? So there's so much issues that I could go on and on, my friends, and I don't want to take up too much time, but I am happy that we have a new government, and like I said, I'll be vocal if I see things wrong under this government. I will be vocal. Just like how vocal on the last government, right, my friends? Especially, right? Especially when you promise and you walk the streets and you hug and kiss babies, right? You promise change, right? So I really hope that we get change instead of exchange, right? I look at the PNM party as a more mature party. They stick to issues. When you look at the other side, it's just bacchanal and confusion. When you look at this whole election petition, I have to ask, is the UNC party, you know, are they, I don't know, I feel like they have been disrespecting the Christian community. If you could, if you could have a bailiff, right, encourage a, because notice they haven't really distanced themselves from the whole situation. When you look at a bailiff, could go on, a man could go and serve notice in a whether directly in the church or the church at a funeral tells me that you ought to be heartless. You have no respect for humanity, right? And I am telling you, this person, so they have no respect for God, right? And and the fact of the matter is, this opposition, they're gonna make it very hard in this country. They're opposing, the energy minister, right? Based on the fact that how she has a case right now, right, suing a institute, right, under her ministry based on discrimination, right? She's fighting for justice and she's getting a chance to serve. When you have a former government minister allegedly made racist statements and was appointed transport, was appointed food production, why did they not talk about that? They're talking about Mr. Imbert. Oh, he's finance minister and he has no background. Let me tell you something. You see Mr. Imbert, right? I used to look at him as an arrogant person back then. But now I've seen that, he's been more mature, and even he admitted that. Right? And the fact of the matter is, he's more of a realist. He deals with, more of a realist person, And they talk about him that how the fact that, in Minister of Finance have no background. But half of these government ministers back in the people in government, tell me their background. Tell me, right, my friends? So, so I am concerned. I'm concerned where we're heading our nation. I'm concerned as a people, I'm still seeing, people warn on social media. And, I'm calling on each and every one of you, let's love and serve one another. There's life after politics. And right now, what we need is peace, love, and unity, my friends. There's so much I want to say, but time, I don't want to take up too much of your time. But I would just like to say it's a pleasure being back. I am glad. I feel good to be back. And may God bless our nation, my friends. I thank each and every one of you. I feel very, I feel very proud of myself that that God could give me talent, especially since my birthday was Sunday. So and I thank God for another day, another year. To really, to really, to really get this talent, to really be vocal and change the hearts and minds of people. Right, and that's my goal. My goal isn't for fame or fortune, you name it. Isn't that, my friends? Look at the bigger picture. So I thank you, my friends, and God bless you. Have a good evening. Thank you.